Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to look at importing data from the web and from other sources. In most cases in Excel, we create the data that we use. Whether you're creating a spreadsheet of students and their grades, or creating a spreadsheet of employees and their employee number and how much you pay them. But the point is that often we create our own data. But there are instances where you have to import data from other sources. And one of those sources is importing data from the web. That's what I'm going to show you how to do in this lesson. Okay, let's get to it. First, click on the specific cell where you want the data to be installed. And then you go to the data tab and click on from the web, import data from a web page. Okay, and the next thing is to enter the URL of the web page. Let's go to the site. I'm trying to enter information from this website, which is a currency exchange website. So I'm looking to import this particular table. Okay, so I will copy the URL and then minimize this and go back to this dialog box here, enter, and then click OK. Okay, finally we have data pulled from the web. In this page here, you can navigate to any area of the web that has information you're looking for. There are two views here to the right. There's the table view, which I will talk about in a second, and there is the web view. The web view actually has the information that I showed you previously on the web page, but we are only interested in these major currencies, and so they will be represented in the table view in one of these subsisting documents. So if I click on that, that's not the one, that's not the table. The second one to see, no. Table 0, no. Table 2, there you go. This is what we are looking for. Okay, let's just see what's in table 3. Table 3 is the other longer table. At the moment, we are not interested in that, so we're going to go back to table 2. And then, instead of clicking load here, it's better to click the drop-down menu and click load to. This way, you can specify exactly where you want to load your information to. Okay, so this is the tab that I'm looking for, the dialog box that I'm looking for. Here, by default, if I click load, it would have gone straight to a new worksheet. That's often the recommended, but in this case, I just want to insert the data inside this particular worksheet that we're working on. So I'm going to click existing worksheet. There are other choices here that you can show your table in, but let's go with existing worksheet, and the cell is A3, which is selected here. That is going to be, so I'm going to click OK to continue, and there you go. So now we have our data pulled from the web. So now we have the currency rates for each of the various countries. Now the next thing to do is to actually use this rate to convert these amounts into Canadian dollar equivalent. Okay, so to do that is easy. We enter the equal sign and then select the amount, the cell where you want to where that will contain the amount that you want to convert, and then multiply that by this is euro. So what is the rate of euro to Canadian? Euro to Canadian here is cell G5. Okay, so enter, and then you have the conversion. So 1,000 euro is equivalent to 1,375 Canadian dollars. So let's do that for the pounds. So again, we enter the equal sign. We click on the cell that contains the amount, and then we click the multiplication sign, and then we click on the rate, the pounds rate for Canadian exchange, Canadian dollar exchange, and that's in G6. Again, we'll press the enter key. We're going to do that for the US dollar as well. Again, we click on the cell containing the amount, and then we enter the multiplication sign, and then for the US dollar is 1.26 something, enter. And then the last one is the Japanese yen. Same process. Click on the cell with the amount, multiplication, and then the Japanese yen is right here, G8, and then we enter. So that's how to calculate this. The beauty of this is that when you change the cell containing the amount, let's say you decide to exchange 800 euro to Canadian dollar, you just have to change that there, and then the equivalent amount will be displayed on the cell containing the conversion. You can do that for Great Britain as well. Let's say 750 or 75. USD 590, and Japanese yen 5. So you can see that this is working. All right, so this is the whole point of this. The other important thing to note here is that because this is a live data, so to speak, because it's pulled from the web, if changes are made on the website, that will also reflect here when you refresh. By going to the data tab and clicking on refresh, you are able to refresh this particular data because it's connected to the website. Okay, so that is what we have been able to do here. All right, so the next thing I want to quickly show you is how to import data from. I'm going to quickly delete some of these and delete. All right, so it's how to import data from sources, from other sources. Let's say from sources within the computer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to place a cursor on where I want the data to be pulled into, and I'm going to click on the data tab and go to the left hand side where it says get data, the command that says get data, and I'm going to click on the drop down. And then there are many options here. There's workbook, test, and so on. You can pull data from databases. You can pull data from online services such as Facebook, SharePoint. But for now, we're going to pull data from within our workbook, from within the previous workbook stored in this computer. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to locate that information, which is somewhere in my computer. Let's click on that, Excel 2016, and the file is right here. Okay, so again, I have this navigation button, and I'm going to click on that, and this is the information that is contained in the file that I want to pull. I can do the same thing by clicking on the drop down beside the load and click load to. It's going to ask me where I want to load it, and I'm going to click on existing worksheet, and the cell is selected right here. If I click OK, my data will be pulled in. That is how to pull data from sources within your computer. You can play with how to pull data from all the other sources using the same technique and methods and procedures that we've used here. All right, I want you to play with this a little bit, and then meet me on the other side.